How often should I feed my spider?
That's a question that I get quite a bit. And honestly, they don't really work off of a schedule all that well. Take a look at this Lasiodora parahybana. You can see how her abdomen, which I'm not going to get too close to because she's a cranky lady, and her cephalothorax are about sort of 50-50 split body proportion wise. For this species, that's exactly what I want. When it comes feeding day for the tarantulas, I'm going to give her probably 4 some odd crickets. However, my Xenethus intermedia here is looking a little small in the butt. You can kind of see that it's like 30% abdomen, maybe 70% cephalothorax. So this one I definitely need to feed. He's got these proportions right now because he molted a couple weeks back, and they tend to be a little smaller in the rear end after molting. Our Cambridgii here has a pretty good rump too. It's about the 60-40 mark, creeping up on the 70-30. That said, this is an arboreal tarantula. They're not supposed to be quite as chunky, so I'm probably going to skip her next feeding. This leopard gecko here got surrendered last month. It's not a tarantula, and it does feed on a bit more of a schedule, but it's quite chunky. You see how the thickest part of the tail is just about thicker than the thickest part of the head? That right there is a, well, frankly, obese leopard gecko. This one's got much healthier proportions. Its tail is nice and thick, but not too thick. I would equate it to sort of the thickness of the neck, maybe a little thicker than that, and I'm more happy with that proportion. This more recent surrender, as you can see, is quite thin. It's not dangerously thin, but it does have lots of room to gain weight, so it's been pounding the mealworms. I don't know if y'all remember large Leona from the other day, but she's a crested gecko who has just a bit too much chonk on her. She's got some weight to lose as well. She just really loves the food. It's important to keep track of the weight of your animals. If you overfeed them, it might be cute to watch them eat, but that's not going to be good for them in the long run. If they're a tarantula, they could struggle to molt when it's time to grow. If they're a reptile, it's going to be really hard on their organs. So weighing them a couple times a month in grams never hurts. Also, if you do that with, say, a ball python and it goes off of food, well, sometimes ball pythons just go off of food. It's a thing they do. And if you're weighing them, you're going to know if they're losing weight or not. So if you have a snake that's not eating, but it's not losing any weight whatsoever and everything else is checking out, you know they're just kind of running their system.